Hello and welcome back to the channel. This week we are going to be looking at the concept of asking for clarity when you get redirection in an audition. So this is going to be something that is super important, super useful for both drama school applicants and for professional actors. So for those of you who don't already know, redirection is something that is given to you in an audition situation. So it will be a note or an instruction given by the audition panel that will be completely different or separate from what you've been performing already, so that they can see how accurately and how well you shift and change in the moment creatively. And it also gives them an insight into how you work instinctively and impulsively in the moment. So I thought I'd make this video specifically because I'd always subscribe to the idea that you always ask for clarity. If you're unsure about a redirection or a note that's given to you, ask for clarity in the moment. And actually, as I've been kind of going through the audition processes, both as an actor myself and sitting on audition panels for drama schools, I've actually come to the realization that there are two situations, one where you can ask for clarity and another where it's probably not recommended that you do ask for clarity in the moment. And I'm going to go into those two different things in a second. But before I do, if you really enjoy this content, then just make sure that you click like and that you subscribe to the channel. So in both situations, when you're given redirection, when you're asked to do something differently in the moment, first of all, ask yourself, do I understand the note that's being given? Do I actually understand this redirection? And if the answer is yes, then just go ahead and play the note. You don't have any need for clarity, you fully understand it, so just commit to the redirection 100% because that's what the audition panel is asking for. But if the answer is no, I don't understand this redirection, then you've got to ask yourself the question, is this redirection deliberately vague? So that's where the two schools of thought come in. Either you've got very clear, specific notes being given to you, or something that is very open-ended and vague. And you'll likely come up against both of those redirections in your time, so it is really good at this stage to pay attention to what is being asked of you. So when it comes to the vague redirection, it is left vague and open-ended and up for interpretation for a very specific reason. So I was actually speaking to a one-to-one coaching client recently who said that in one of her recall auditions for a drama school, the note that was given to her, and I quote, "So you're doing white wine at the moment and we want you to do red wine." That was the note that was given to her for the speech that she was doing. Now that is a really good example of a very, very vague redirection. It's totally up for interpretation, it's quite abstract, and it leaves a lot of room for you to have a kind of creative interpretation and to really go for something that makes you think and makes you kind of go, okay, well, what could I potentially do with this note? And so a note like that, I do not recommend asking for clarity on, because what that will do is it will read as you asking for kind of confirmation, asking for permission, or looking for the right answer. And when it comes to vague open-ended redirection, they're not looking for the right answer, they're looking for what you instinctively and creatively and impulsively bring to the table. So acknowledge the fact that it's vague, that it's a little bit odd and it's open-ended, and interpret it in the way that you deem worthy, because at the end of the day, there is no right and wrong, it's all subjective. The panel want to see how your creative mind ticks. And if you're cutting off that offer from the audition panel, if you're constantly kind of asking for confirmation, or if you seem very scared or like you're not comfortable taking on a note like that, then that's probably not going to stand you in very good stead. I would always recommend just take a couple of seconds, decide what you want to creatively do with that note, and then just play it to the fullest extent, because that is what they are asking for. They're not looking for you to get it exactly right. It is so open-ended and so vague. If, however, you answer no to, is this redirection deliberately vague, then what they're likely doing is giving you a very specific note. And with a specific note, they're looking for a specific outcome, or they're at least looking for you to go from one kind of aspect of performance through to interpreting that note and taking it on to the fullest effect and playing something specific. And if you don't understand the specific note that is being given to you, whether they're using words and terminology that you're not familiar with or comfortable with, or whether you're just like, that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever, then it's actually imperative that you do ask for confirmation, you do ask for clarity in that moment. Because there's nothing worse than not understanding what's being asked of you, playing a redirection kind of 50% and being unsure of yourself, because what that will read as is completely different to what's actually going on in your head, which is, I don't fully understand what you're asking me to do. It will read as, you're not comfortable taking on the redirection, you can't shift and change in the moment, or that you don't believe that that redirection is valid. All of that accumulates into the audition panel, probably thinking that we don't really want to work work with this person. So ask for clarity, ask them to rephrase it. And it doesn't have to be anything more than, sorry, I don't quite understand what you're asking for. Can you rephrase that for me? And the thing is, audition panels want you to do the best work that you possibly can. So offering some clarity is the least that they can do to make you feel comfortable and get you performing to your best in this situation. They will more than happily oblige giving you some confirmation and some clarity in that redirection. And when they do actually give you clarity, when they've rephrased it for you, try repeating it back to them just so that you're both on the same page. Because again, you don't want anything lost in translation. You want to be able to fully understand the note that is being given to you so that you can play it to the extent that they want. So the big thing that I want you to take away from this video is that there are two schools of thought. Either you are being given a vague, open-ended redirection, in which case don't ask for clarity, come up with your own creative interpretation and play that to the fullest extent, or they're giving you a very specific note, and if you don't fully understand that, ask for clarity. And once you do understand that, play it to the fullest extent. Being able to understand what is being asked of you in an audition situation is imperative, and it is really going to help you get to further recall stages, get the job, or get the place at drama school. Also, I have made a previous video on redirection and the things that you need to think about and the things that hold us back in redirection. So if you're interested in checking that out, it is linked here below. I really hope that you found this video useful and enjoyable, and if you did, just make sure to click like and to subscribe to the channel. Watch all of the other videos as well because they are super important when it comes to both drama school auditions and professional auditions. And until next time, bye bye.